what she does. I was also inspired by what she does, and that's why I'm here too. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to do something. Can we please rise on our feet? Can we stand? Okay, it's ironical that the person we're standing for is also standing, but it's okay. With genuine reverence, can we please make welcome an award winning host, the founder of Voices and Faces Communication Limited, and the reason why we are here today, the woman who has decided to chase that dream and not just leave it in her heart. Please make welcome. Can we put our hands together as I bring upstage a host for today, Temi Badru. We can do better. This is Temi Badru.
Ooh. Who is this Temi Badru person? Please, can we sit, ladies and gentlemen? You know, I usually do the welcoming. I usually do the ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. But today, I'm being introduced. So it's a new feeling. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who is here. Thank you so much. It's really so heartwarming. The journey, and I'll just give us a quick background into this journey. So I knew that I wanted to tell stories, and I wanted to tell stories that matter about people not just in urban areas, but also in rural areas. People who, are in different places, who are making things work and who have something significant to share. And with that knowledge, I thought it was time to do this. So I told a few people, we're going to get this done. That was some months ago. And somehow, we had so much to do at that point. It was such a packed period, so I didn't think it was impossible. One day, I said to myself, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this in the next few days. So I called a videographer. He works with international organizations, and I know he's very competent. His name is Mr. Taiwo Quadri. So I called him and I said, I have this thing I want to do, this project. I need to tell stories, and we need to do it together. And he agreed. So I went to Lagos. I heard the story of this woman who was a female carpenter. We're going to premiere the docuseries, the first episode of the docuseries soon, and then you'll get a sense of what this is about. So I went to Lagos and we had we had the shoot. And I tell you, we did it against all odds. It was truly something. I mean, it was a lot. And then I got back, we're thinking about let's launch it. And I was talking to my friend, Sheung, and I was just telling her, I've just shot this, we've worked on it. Sheung, you probably remember this conversation. And I said, we're gonna just share it on YouTube. And so I played it for her. Sheung is one of those people that will tell you the truth. So if she says something is good, it's probably great. So Sheung watched this documentary, or this docuseries, and she said, Temi, you can't just drop this on YouTube like that. I said, what do you mean? I'll just drop it maybe tomorrow or next month. She said, no, you need to actually do something around this. Like, this is not something you just drop. You need to create some sort of, just publicize it before you drop it. So I just thought, okay, maybe we can do that. And then I got back home, and then I was thinking to myself, by the way, as I was speaking with Sheung, my husband was in the house that day. So I was just looking to him to, say something contrary, but he was supporting her, saying we need to do something about this. So I said, okay, we'll try to do something about it. I got back home, I thought, okay, maybe what we can do is we do like a countdown and we release it. And if anyone on LinkedIn had seen it, the initial thing I said is, we're going to launch it on May 1 on YouTube. So there was nothing physical. There was no physical event. There was nothing. We just launched it on YouTube and we tell these stories. And when we said that, that was the plan. And then some days later, I just started to feel, we can do more. We can gather people together and we can actually have an event around this. We can have conversations about this. So that was another journey. First, we had the journey of trying to do the shoot. I've summarized it. There were much more hurdles. But then now we had another journey of let us move it to a physical event and then we would premiere it physically, and then the audience would also join in virtually. Physical events equals more money, equals budget, equals more stress. And I doff my hat for event planners because we've had to plan this event in less than 2 weeks, and it has taken a lot. It's truly taken a lot in terms of energy. So we said, okay, well, what do we do? I spoke with my friends, I spoke with Mukwe, and we said, okay, we're going to just do it. We're going to have a physical event. So we said, okay, who can we collaborate with? We started to reach out to people to collaborate with. One of the people, or one of the organizations we reached out to for collaboration is Transcorp Hilton. And today I'd like to appreciate Transcorp. Please give Transcorp a round of applause for believing in this vision. So we said we want to have this docuseries, but beyond this docuseries, it's Workers' Day. We want to have an event that talks about dignity of labor, an event that spotlights what it really means to work. And some of the people we look at and we admire from afar, we want to hear their stories. We want to know the process. And Transcorp believed in that vision. I said, let's do this together. Today we're partnering with Transcorp. We reached out to other partners, media partners, Legit.ng, a round of applause for Legit.ng, Trust TV, Media Trust Group, and they agreed to partner with us. So that's second hurdle, right? And we got this confirmation that we're going to go ahead less than 2 weeks to it. So less than 2 weeks, I was thinking to myself, how are we going to get all this? How are we going to mobilize people, do all of these things? I was looking at my itinerary. I had to travel. So how am I going to be doing some of these things from where I am? And we decided to reach out to people. We put online where a lot of people said they saw this. We put online on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And we said, okay, this is a small hall, as everyone can see. So it's a small hall. We can't take a lot of people, but we can take a few people. So please register. We also put it online and said, would like people to also volunteer. And we got feedback. It was massive. I mean, by the time I checked the forms, after a few days, I told my assistant, please close the forms. We're not using the biggest hall, we're using a small hall. We can only take a few people. Because, back in the days, when we were younger, our parents would give us transport fare, we'll save it and we'll lap ourselves, right, for transport. Whoever did that, just carry it, just lap yourself. But you can't bring adults and tell them to come and lap themselves in a small hall. So we have to work within the constraints of the hall size. So we had to pick only a few people. It was hard to pick people. So I said, I'm not going to be a part of the process. Let the team pick. Just select people from different demography and invite them for this. So that, again, another hurdle. And just before this, one other hurdle we had to surmount was, what's going to be the title of this event? And I shared the story on LinkedIn. What do we title this event that we're going to do? So I was telling my friend, BC, she's here, and Mukwe, being amazing support. And we're just talking about, I was on the phone call, I said, we need to get a title for this thing. What's it called? So I said, I was mentioning different titles. I don't like that title. I don't like the way it sounds. I can be a little picky with titles and names. I said, I don't like the way it sounds. So BC said, can you describe what you want to achieve? I said, I want to tell the stories of people who have been able to overcome obstacles against all odds. Then I said, against all odds, they've done it. She said, that is it. I said, what? She said, against all odds, because you keep saying it. So I said, okay, can that be a title? It's long, 3 words. Okay, against all odds. I said, what do you think about it, Mokpe? Mokpe said, oh yeah, this is a good title. And we decided to go with against all odds. And truly, when I look back, I think that's actually the story of what we've had to go through. Shooting the documentary in such a short time, traveling to get it done, just going through the whole traffic of Lagos, going beyond that to post-production, to moving to organize this event in less than 2 weeks. That's against all odds. I mean, our speakers being here on such short notice is against all odds. And that's how we came up with the title. And somehow, I think that it summarizes what this is about. So today we are going to tell the story of someone. First of all, let me say that Against All Odds is the name of the docuseries we're premiering. However, we're starting out with episode 1. And so for episode 1, it's titled I Am Woman. So episode 1 of Against All Odds is I Am Woman, and that's what we're premiering. Subsequently, we would not premiere now, but we'll release other episodes. So this one is spotlighting a woman. Tomorrow, we may be spotlighting a man. The day after, we may be spotlighting someone who is living, above obstacles, somebody who is doing well in their chosen field, perhaps even a person who is living with a disability. But the idea is we're getting started today with the first episode, I Am Woman. Thank you. So, today is Workers' Day, and we're so glad that this event is happening today. So it's a Workers' Day event. It is to, as Ado said, it's going to show us the value of dignity of labor, because I think something that all of us have in common, something that all the speakers have in common, and what this woman whose story we are sharing today also has in common is that we value labor. There's dignity in labor. We've been able to sort of go through the process to achieve success. So it wasn't sort of an overnight success in some way. People who have done well in their fields. I don't want to give any spoilers because I don't want to tell too much of the stories. But what I would say is that today, I want to encourage everyone to sit back, listen to this. I'm going to be. Okay, is it fine? All right, thank you. So I'd encourage us to sit back and listen to the speakers. They have a lot of wisdom. They have a lot of great experiences. I'd also encourage us to just take away something from this docuseries. So it's a learning experience. When I was shooting this, it was a learning experience for me. So sit back, enjoy the docuseries, enjoy the event, and please don't go away without meeting at least 2 people that you did not know before. Because the value of meetings like this, the value of events like this, is not just that we come and we speak. It's also in the value of our relationships. It's in our connections. So please, meet at least 2 people that you did not know before. Once again, a big thank you to all our sponsors. A big thank you to those I refer to as the unofficial sponsors, friends and family, the ones who say, one, I think both of. Should I just speak without? So, thankfully I do this so I can project a bit. But a big thank you to all our friends and family, unofficial sponsors and partners for all their support. Coming out here, Workers' Day, public holiday is a day to really sleep in. But you've chosen to be here. So I want to say thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you.
And while she was while she had told us about all the hurdles that she faced, just I remember, when you carry your phone, making mistakes. This is just a 1-minute Instagram video. But you have to edit over and over. How much more a documentary, in and a lot. And I think Temi Badru deserves to be celebrated. Thank you. Okay, so I would just want to on this. And I just want to ask them, what does against all odds mean to you? Now, have you had any challenge where, I mean, you had to conquer against all odds? We just want to make it a bit. If I come to you with the microphone, please just question. Okay.
I was about to be saved by the microphone, but. All right, thank you. Against all odds, just like she said, life itself is against all odds. Waking up is against all odds. So you have two choices. You can wake up and decide to stay in and do nothing. Or you go out against all odds to create that change that you so desire. For me, being here today, I mean, for all of us being here today, we could as well be sleeping in today, resting, or doing any other thing. But we are here against all odds to better understand why she had this as a title for her program today. I hope this is enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And there's someone who looks very beautiful, and I just feel like I need to give her this microphone. I need to give her a yes. Thank you.
Okay, so I believe against all odds, it speaks for itself, irrespective of, the hurdles that come before you. Yeah, and like, I remember on my way here, we were setting out and we were on time. And then I just heard this sound, pra. If you're a lady, you know what that means. And I was like, oh, sugar. Like, seriously? I am late. But you know what? I told myself, you know what? Today is for this event, so I'm going to be here, irrespective of it all. And that's why I'm here, against all odds. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and one more person. I had met her earlier, and I just feel like she would give us another perspective. Don't worry, I'm not coming for you. I'm coming for you.
And she said it. She couldn't do it. Okay, I have a very funny story. So you know that period that the election period where they did the whole Naira thing. So there was this day, I couldn't access my account. I had just one account, not one account that I do transfers within. I know. I couldn't access that account that day. And then that the particular day, my gas now decided to finish. And my backup gas burner somehow was just not working. So I couldn't cook. I didn't have food to eat. I couldn't go out because I had to call my brother. Okay, so today I don't have food to eat in this house. Do something. So he had to send me order food from where he was, paid, and then food was delivered to me. So against all odds, I ate that day.
Thank you so much. Then just one more person. Please, it could be a professional experience. It doesn't have to be personal per se. So just one more person. Oh, thank you so much. He has volunteered that she would speak. So thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Standing here is against all odds. Yeah, I don't have to be here, but I came here against all odds. We are on vacation, me and my husband. We're based in America. We have planned out the places we will go, where we will go. We shouldn't even be in Abuja. But my friend told us about this. We had to against our odds.
Now I see why we needed to give her the microphone. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, ma'am. So, yep. Okay. While we were sharing our stories, our beautiful keynote speaker worked in, and shortly she'll be giving her keynote address. And I would read her profile and bring her up. So Jane Nkechi Egerton Idehen is the CEO of Nigerian Communication Satellite Limited. She's a seasoned leader in African telecommunications with over 17 years of experience. She's a strong advocate for women in STEM, founding Women and Career and authoring a best-selling book, Be Fearless, Give Yourself Permission to Be You, which just resonates with our theme for today. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause. We know how we do it here. A round of applause as we make welcome our keynote speaker, Mrs. Jane Nkechi Egerton Igehe. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, is it working? Yeah, it is. First of all, apologies. I really want to be here on time. And because I kind of missed the stories. I was enjoying the stories as I was listening. I love the way that she kind of introduced me, because I think it sets the tone for what I'm about to say. Because when she introduces me in that way, a lot of people get intimidated. Because I speak a lot, and in some audiences, when people reel out your resume, I call it the paper resume, a lot of people are intimidated. But that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm here. You know, when Temi called me and told me, you know, do you want to sit on the show? She's going to have a panel. I'm like, that's fine. Then later she came back, do you want to do a keynote? I said, that's fine. That's fine for me because of what I'm going to say. Because there are just a couple of boxes I tick. And if those topics fall in any of those boxes, I'll show up, unless I'm unavailable or I'm unable to do that. So I titled today's keynote, actually, What's Your Story? That's why I said I missed the stories before, you know, as you were telling the stories. I titled it, What's Your Story? Because I think sometimes we see success as what she just did, you know. When they reel out people's resumes, you aspire to want to be all of that, you know. You're wondering why you're beating yourself up. Like the lady said, why am I not meant to be in the US or somewhere? Or that other lady, why is it possible I wake up and there's no food? Other people have food. Or I don't have gas. You know, sometimes it doesn't make sense, isn't it? And when you look at yourself or your life, you feel like, what did I do wrong? But the truth is that sometimes we tell you what you need to hear. You hear the resume that was reeled. You didn't hear the backstory. So today I'm very honored to tell you I'm going to give you the backstory. So a question you keep in mind, because we'll come to it at the end, is what's your story? Everybody has a story. Someone introduced me as the MD for NICOMSAT, but what's really my story? And I want to start about 6 things I'll put out there, then I'll continue. There are kids here, isn't it? Okay. So I bedwetted till I was a young adult. Who knows what is bedwetted? You want to do that till you're a young adult. And I went to a boarding school. So just think it through. Think it through. Who knows, what they call, is it Maraba they call it? In Nasarawa State? Maraba. Okay, Maraba. Good. I grew up in a Maraba, so it's called Ajegunle if you ever lived in Lagos. It's actually it's lower slum than Maraba. Maraba, people come looking all like your neighbors go to rob at night and come, and some of them are just known prostitutes, you know, that kind of stuff. Everybody's just hustling their way, no judgment. I spent the first 27 years of my life living there and growing up there. Then I went to school. University, I really, 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 really wanted to make a first class because my parents told me that was the only way out of poverty. So I gave it my best shot. Most of the people I hung out with made a first class. I didn't make a first class. I made 4.27. To make a first class was 4.5. I technically needed just one course. And that course, I got a D because the guy told me he was just being generous. I got a D because I couldn't afford to buy the handout. I think the handout was 37 naira or something like that. everyone I taught, like I used to run a discussion class, Engineering 401, and I would teach people for free. And most of the people got A's and B's, but I got a D. So you can put that together. Who knows MIT? Great. So I applied to MIT twice. I didn't get in. They actually sent me a referral letter to stop applying, please. And they directed me to some schools in the UK. They thought I should try there. That it might be better for me. Then, I missed one. When I was in secondary school, to get into what you call SS1, isn't it? You choose your courses. So I ended up studying engineering, but in SS1, I chose science because everybody thought, do science, isn't it? Then, of course, I started, like with physics. I clearly remember because I was discussing it with friends that eventful day. My first physics test, I got a 0. And the physics teacher advised that I shouldn't continue. But I ended up studying engineering. Then, like we all know, like at 30, the pressure was there, I'd already started working. I thought I was making some money. I was beginning to make friends because now I was making a little bit money. I could take care of myself. And as you would know, all my friends were getting married. And I had a one-to-one talk with myself that if this thing continues for another 5, 10 years, maybe I should rethink, this whole marriage thing. Now, I say this because I want to introduce you to a concept because I wanted to set the scene so you don't see me here looking all, like they say, isn't I looking all fly? And you're wondering, with that resume, like she has it all perfect. It could be worse. I just looked at the ones we can actually talk about. But I don't want you to think that your story of Against All Odds is just unique to you. I'm saying this because Against All Odds, it's almost everyone. It depends who wants to share their story, who owns it. I love to own my story because I think that's why I went through it. I think the only reason I went through all that is this, so that I can speak to most times the younger Jane, because that's all she needed to hear. The anxiety, the depression, the sadness I went through. It was those types of stories that kept me going. So it's really important for me to have these types of discussion. But I want to speak to just one concept I thought that would help us. It's the power of compounding interest. Any economists in the room? Okay, the power of compounding interest. That's, as economics would put it, it's called the miracle. And we use it in investing, those that like to invest. So it's just simply put, when you invest money, if you apply simple interest to it, when the money comes out, you get slightly more, isn't it? So if you invest 100 naira, they say we'll give you 10% interest. 10% of 100 is 100 naira. When the money comes, if it's at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you get 1,000 plus 100, 1,100. Now the power of compounding interest is to reinvest it. So now you're reinvesting 1,100. So when the money comes slightly more, what happens is that over time, you tend to make a lot of money. So if I apply that concept to a lot of us, especially to my story, I would say that, that bedwetting? I think it made me a better person. If nothing more, I think it taught me empathy. My son had to go through the same thing, but I treated him really different. There were no spankings and shaming. There were discussions and strategies of what I did. And the more I told him, he felt confident to apply it. And he stopped way earlier than me. But I think it taught me even the art of confidence. I actually studied confidence as a science because I was so insecure. Because remember in boarding school, then the whole room is smelling you. Everybody just puts a mark on you. They even remind you, they wake you up, madam, wake up, please don't urinate on the bed. So you learn the art to carry on and go to class and have a say, even though everybody's probably mentally judging you. Not the whole Ajegule story. Well, today I have a bestseller book. If you read it, Be Fearless, my whole story is there. But I couldn't story if I didn't go through it. Today the work I do, the great work of impact I do, is tied to it. Because all I keep telling myself, what would Jane have wanted in Ajegule? Those days I would sit on my bed, depressed and sad. What did I really want? I just wanted someone to tell me, keep at it, is okay. The lady was talking about no gas. My church was in a place called Surulere. I used to trek from Surulere to Ajegule. Check the distance. I've trekked from CMS to Ajegule 7th. I've even honked. You know what it is, a trailer? You cling on to it. People, don't be deceived by the outfit. I say this so that you feel encouraged and know that I see it as the power of compounding interest. If you treat it that way, if you take the learnings, the highs, the lows, they're all learnings, you reapply it. You see that first class that I didn't make? I'm not being arrogant, but there's nobody. There are 10 people that made a first class in my set. I don't think any of us are par. None of us. And to add to it, this Saturday, I'll be going to Nsukka. I'm giving what they call a Herbert Macaulay Memorial Lecture. I'll be the first woman to do it in over 50 years. They've never had a woman. Thank you very much. My mother says it's because they didn't give me a first class, that God just wanted to rub it in. No, but I say this that you understand that the story is powerful because it is a tool for you. It's not to feel sad about it, and it's not to throw it away. You don't need to, because for several years I heard it. People in my secondary school didn't even know I lived in Ajegule. I'll tell you, I live somewhere close to Papa. Oh, sorry, you can't come and visit. My parents don't like visitors. I can count how many people knew, maybe 2 people knew where I lived. Up until I was working, I wouldn't let you come to my house. How could you come to my house? The roof is leaking. You barely have a chair to sit. You understand? So, and I will go and hang out with all these fancy people because I went to a federal school, so it was mostly middle class. People talk about how they went on vacation with their parents to the UK. And I'm like, I know what I did that holiday. Do you know what it is when they say, you're hawking bread? That's probably what I did during my own holiday. So I want you to look at it from the lens of the power of compounding interest. That resilience, that grit is so important and necessary for where you're going. So please, what you do is to think through it. What can you take from it? Even though the lows, what should you be avoiding? What could you do better? What skill set have you achieved? Please reapply it. You will be shocked at the power of compounding interest. And like I said, the whole physics test and the first class, I think, when you say you want to shoot without a mistake, you don't want to give anybody else an extra reason to take something like that from you. So in the way you operate is with so much accuracy. Like people will wonder, what's this? And it's all driven from I actually put a post about it one time on LinkedIn that, it was the qualities I learned from trying, to get a first class, it's so strategic that you actually calculate every score, every assignment. Like I tell myself at the beginning, before the year, let me tell you how you plan. So you are in 200 level. During the last term of 200 level, I gather everybody's notebooks. You go and look for the very smart people in 300 level. You take their notebooks. You have sessions with them just to discuss about lecturers. What does this guy look for? What does he want? What does it? You then map out every class. What does it take to get an A? How many homeworks does he give? Does he give scores for answering questions, for attendance? Does he insist you buy a handout? Then the entire holiday, you study the entire coursework, and just to have no errors, you even add textbooks to it. Then you solve questions back 5 years in a row. So by the time you show up, think about your lecturer yourself. There's no question anybody can ask you. There is no room for error. Now think of applying that skill in the workplace. That's my power of compounding interest. And finally, I told you about the whole nervousness at 30. I don't know why I was nervous. I think everybody owns their story, and everybody's story is unique. That's the great thing about God. So don't be too try not to be jealous or envious of others. You know, you could feel it a bit, it's a feeling, but try not to make it a permanent thing that you stick with, because everybody's journey is different. Because I'm proudly saying that this week I did celebrate 17 years being married. Yes, 17 years. And I wanted to say that because even my marriage is a different story, because what I thought would have been a marriage, if I'd gone into it, probably wouldn't have worked. There are very few men that can deal with this. Do you get it? It could be a handful. You don't want to talk about the countries we've lived on, the travels, sometimes at short notice. You know what it is to say yes to this job? I was living in Ireland when I was called to come and take this job.
Sorry to like.
I had everything going, as people will say. I didn't have any reason to take this job. And a lot of people were against it. And there are many more decisions I've made. You need to have the right people in your corner. Because it doesn't mean that because I took that decision, it was going to be easy. But it just meant that I had the right people to support me. It brings me to the final one. Don't worry, we're coming to the end. My final note, my sauce for success. And I call it courage, but I will give you my definition of courage. So my definition of courage is the ability to act in the midst of your fears. Uncertainty, scared, do it anyway. Some of these things I told you, I didn't do it because I had it all figured out. I had it known. I knew the rules. I was an expert. I was experienced. I did them really, really scared. And I keep doing things. You know that feeling you have? There's something in you that wants you to do it, but you're really scared. Very, very scared. Like really scared that at night you wake up and tell yourself, if this thing doesn't work, things are going down. A lot of things I did like that. And that for me was a source for success. To take that path against all odds sometimes means it's lonely because people haven't done it or people around you don't see it. And it's okay. Like now in the past, I used to be like really judgmental. Now I don't. Because how could they have known that little girl in Ajegula, that everybody around you was a cook, a driver, and a cleaner, and they thought it was a great idea that they got me a job as a security person, even after I studied engineering. And I refused. It didn't make sense, did it? Because I'd been looking for jobs on the streets of Lagos and I hadn't found. I even almost fainted in one of those occasions. But against all odds, I told myself, there must be something better. But everybody around me didn't see it. So today, I thought that was a great way for us to start the day and the discussions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Wasn't that inspiring? Wasn't it? It was inspiring, impactful. I mean, no adjectives to really describe how great it was. And if you forget anything that she said, this was very instructive for me. She said, own your story. Don't throw it away. The story is yours. Own it. Take ownership of it. Our journeys are different, but just ensure that you own it. And while she talked about her physics experience, I just remembered an experience from secondary school. And if you went to, you studied in Nigeria, you know you had to take JAM, right? How many of us have JAM stories? Hey, I can even see it already. And I was the head girl, so I was doing pretty well in a federal school. So I just thought that, how will people fail JAM? And I remember seeing my first JAM score. And the definition was, they said, jam you. That was how it was. And I felt like a complete failure. So now I'm very empathetic towards those that fail. Not necessarily, they didn't fail because they're not intelligent. So that's how, when you go through your journeys, you're more empathetic, just as she had said. So thank you so much, Ma. That was very wonderful. Thank you. We've learned so much that we can apply to our lives. Thank you. So yes, we're going right into the reason why we are here. The premiere of the very first episode of Against It All docuseries, I Am Woman. So I'm going down shortly and then the media will take it up from here. So are we excited? I can't feel are we excited? Yeah, so, all right then. So we're going into it right away. Thank you. I'm sure everyone has gotten a pack of popcorn and a drink. So this is now where we have that cinema experience. Ensure that you enjoy the documentary while you just snack on your popcorn. Thank you very much.
One of my clients, he was actually at UK, and you know, the first time that the brother introduced me to the man, he was like, a female, how is that possible? This and that, and I was like, I need to convince him. It was like, send some of your video so that I can see. I sent some of the video, I sent picture, and I was like, the thing was much, and later he now said, okay, let me just give you a try. And he gave me so many work. I'm 38 years old. I'm a carpenter. In 2019, so I lost my husband, and this really affected me so much. I was depressed. I don't know what to do. Being a widow, how did I want to cope? How did I want to feed my kids? How did I want to pay for house rent? We actually stay in a 3-bedroom flat. How did I want to pay for the 3-bedroom flat? So, you know, help was not really coming like that. And I cannot depend on people. One of my cousins that introduced me to some work, and I went for the interview. And after the interview, I was curious about the salary. So the first one was 30K. The second one was 25K. I could remember that one was a teaching job. So I was like, I went to school now. I studied industrial relations. I was divine, as in I can do this, I can do that. I was like, and the woman said, in fact, they have people that they pay 15K in a month, that the cleaner collects 10K in a month. And I was like, 10K. Because I could remember at that time that my body really wants the accounting work as a banker. I want to be a banker. But my spirit wants the furniture aspect, the carpentry work. So my spirit and my body did not work together. But that day I made up my mind, and I was like, my body have an agreement with my spirit. So two of them worked together that night. And I took the risk of coming back all the way from Yanoba, coming back to Agege to work as a carpenter. So I went to one man, Pastor Oladimeji Ojedele. So he really accommodates me. So he gave me job, then pay me. Even though in a month that I was even working for people, I realized more than 50K in a month. Even though there are some times that the man will pay me like 50K in a week. There was a time like I felt like maybe I should just go for something else. But I realized that, hey, even though if you go for something, because I can cook also, I'm into catering before, but I stopped because I realized that the money that I received from the carpentry work is more better than doing all this catering work. It was one of my indirect work. So I work for you, and I was like calling you that, okay, pay me my money. You've already delivered your work, so pay me my money. And he was like, I will not pay. What do you want to do? And this person in particular, so he always give work to me also. In fact, He will pay for male and they will still disappoint him. You know, I now look it in a way that, is it because I'm a woman? So that was the reason why you just said, until when I'm pleased. I have challenges with women because I could remember a woman like that. The husband appreciates my work and maybe she actually got jealous and she was like, how could her husband appreciate me like that? I said, it's nothing. And in fact, the work was not given to me. She was like, I don't know what else will happen if the work was given to you. I don't know, maybe it's my husband. And I was like, I am not the kind of woman. I'm a woman of integrity. For one work like that, it depends on the design of the work. Some could pay 50K for just the work. Some could pay like 100K. It depends on the design of the work. In a month, when there is no much customer like that, I actually make like 150 in a month. But when customer, some months is even more than like 300. I actually want to give back to the society. I want my name to be made mention of. So that was the reason why I decided to like, okay, let me just be patient to people. Let me train people up. So if I could able to do that, so I will be able to give back to the society. Their parents see me and they were like, you are just like a role model that people can actually look up to. So being a woman, doing a man work, I give it all my best and I make sure I come out as the best. So I don't look at people, I don't look at difficulties, I don't look at when people say that this work is hard.
This was amazing, isn't it? Or wasn't it? Okay, so what stood out for you? So I would just ask a few people what stood out for them. And mine was her take home every month. And she said, when I don't have market, I'm like, hello, some people graduated with a first class degree. Where is the 150? Do we know what they are offering us in Abuja, in the capital city? So I mean, that's very exciting to know that where we even think that we would have least funds from, that's where someone is making it. So I'm sure we had different take homes from this. So I just want a few of us to share what stood out for you from Toyin's story. Was it her resilience? And I'm like, from a 3-bedroom flat, then your husband suddenly passes away, something you never, I'm not sure she ever had it, like even in her wildest dream. She never thought that she would lose her husband. But life happened, right? And she had to move on. So what stood out for you? What lesson did you get? Okay, someone's hand at the back. Oh. Okay, yes. Thank you. Wow, thank you.
I learned that it's not good to listen to what people say, no matter like, never listen to what they say when they try to let you down from your dreams. Always bring out what you have. Show them who you really are.
How old are you? How old are you, please?
I'm 11 years old.
You're 11 years old. This is wonderful. What's your name?
Bethel Yabeku.
Bethel.
Yes.
So Bethel is 11. I mean, we should celebrate Bethel. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bethel. So this is just a reminder that people always have their opinions, but do what matters to you most. Okay, I can see some hands. What's happening? All our hands are coming from the back. People in the front, what's happening?
For me, this is a very inspiring story. For me, what actually stood out for me was the fact that she was determined, she was persistent, and she wanted to give back. Despite the fact that she learned a particular art, that's carpentry, she wanted to give back to society. thanking society, to train others. That stood out for me most.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And this just reminds me of the fact that we always have something to give back. It doesn't matter what you do, there's always a role you can play in giving back to society.
Yeah, the story was quite. Okay, my name is Rekia Ademo. This story was inspiring. It took me back. I was almost in tears at a point because it took me back to a point in time when I was having some life challenges, almost similar to hers, but mine was a divorce case. I was left with my kids, no job, nothing. The man emptied my account and went away. So I went to a carpenter also because I was doing house chores, a graduate going down low. So I looked around. I got a teaching job, so I'll always come back, but it was just 30,000 naira. I'll have to buy diaper, do a lot of things for my kids. I didn't want them to suffer. So I was left alone. My family abandoned me. So from Toyin story, I went to a carpenter that I needed to learn this job. But where do I keep my kids? That was what the man asked me. Where would I keep these children? He was ready to take me. Hello. So from the carpenter, I went to so many places, up to a welder. Wow. Just trying to see that my kids don't suffer. But the problem was that where do I keep the kids? I was doing a house chores. There I could manage for a time, but at some point, the man was like, "Madam, you're too beautiful for this world. You're too, each time I see you, I'm in tears. You're too good to be washing clothes, my children's clothes." She had to give me some fund and said I should stop the work. So I was almost, if I had my way, maybe if I got some encouragement and I had where to keep my kids by now, maybe I would have been doing what she's doing better and well organized. So, yes, thank you.
You know, when people come out and they say, if I was in this particular place, or if I knew better, if I could achieve this, always have it at the back of your mind that it's never too late. I've always known when there is life, there is hope. When you start now, it can go farther than you can ever imagine. And I'm Jumai Manson. Nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you very much. And Ms. Badru, I think we have another documentary to shoot. Her story is really inspiring. Thank you for sharing your story, Rekia. So, yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Tobare Idowu is my name. What stood out for me in that story was never give up. Just keep moving. Life throws different curveballs at us at different points in time, but never stop. Her story really resonated with some part of my life because as a kid, I was born into a rich home. My dad was very wealthy. And by the time I was 8, we had a fire incident and we lost everything. My dad started with, don't mind my shaky voice. It's just, so my dad had to start from scratch with 7 kids. And we started, doing things ourselves because we couldn't afford many things. So throughout university and all that, I worked in a block industry. I worked in a bakery. I tried church, to and fro, under the rain and in the sun. But we kept moving. I think I bought my first clothes from the boutique after I graduated. I remember it was 10K. A top was 5K. It's brown. I remember the color. It was my first. Like, yes, finally I could walk into a boutique. We had those customers in Catacomb. 'Cause I work in the digital health. Stop moving, and I just want to move. Just keep going.
Don't stop moving. First, one, two, three, five. Just five of us, please. In 1 minute, please.
Okay, my spirit versus body. Because okay, thank you. I think a number of us, if not all of us, would have at some point had that spirit versus body thing, where the real you kind of know what you want to do, but the audacity to go after it, you need it, that boldness to be audacious, to actually say, okay, this is what I want to do, and it is against the norm, but I'm going to go after it at the end of the day. Then to bring your spirit and your body to agree and just go after it. I think that really stood out for me.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Chisom. Similar to what you shared, the highlight for me was the spirit versus body conflict. And it's particular to me because I think I'm at a phase where I need to, like she said, the path of courage is sometimes lonely. So I need to, muster up courage to put out some things, to put myself out there. And it's a jump for me. It's like, okay, you know what, get up, get going, do this. You don't have to wait. It may be lonely, but it's worth it in the end. So that was a highlight for me. Thank you.
This inspires you, courage in you to just take that step. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esther, and from the premiere documentary that we just watched, there's quite a lot to learn, and people have shared what they learned. But my takeout is that Tony was able to tell herself not to settle for less. When they offered her the job to take 10K, 15K, she was like, no, there's more, and that really inspired me. Thank you.
So much for sharing, Chisom. There's always more in life. There's no limitation. There's always more.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
My
afternoon.
name is Abigail Obi. What stood out for me was the fact that she refused the widow tag because she could have just stayed there and just stay in that that pity corner and say, I'm a widow, and feel sometimes entitled and say, they refuse to help me, But she just hated, she knew that she deserved a better life, and then she knew she would get it. I love that about her.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. There's someone beside you who wants to share.
Good afternoon, everyone. So for me, like everyone has just said, watching through the clip, something whispered, grit and resilience. And the grit is all about the courage and the determination, the strength she found in herself. The resilient part of it is her ability not to remain in a difficulty process and working herself to go more. There was a part of her that wanted to become a banker. Then there was another part that wanted to become more. So it's to tell you that irrespective of whatever you go through, make sure you pull it all out. Come off it. Do not look at that current situation to judge what lies ahead. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. We all drew very beautiful lessons from this. So we're going to do something. I would like everyone to please pull out your phones. I have mine here as well. Can we just pull out your phone, please? Can you open your YouTube app? I have mine open. Type Temi Badru. The name we have on the screen. Temi. You leave the space, then Badru is Badru. Temi Badru. Are we there? Okay, Temi, Temi. Then Badru is Badru. are you? Yeah. Are we there? And you can see that it's live. Okay, I can hear myself from some people's devices, but it's okay. All right, so I would like us to just share. There's an icon there. First of all, let's wait. Let's subscribe. You know how YouTubers say it? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I'm doing it on behalf of Temi Badru. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. So just click the subscribe button, please. So we can just reduce our volume so we don't get like a feedback here. And then I would like us to share. Please share. We have all been inspired by this documentary. Can you kindly share to your network? Just share. Hi, there's a 10 minutes documentary. Can you take a look at it? You'll be inspired. Are we doing it? Have we done it? And then I want us to take a selfie. So you can pull out your phone, ensure that your camera is open. Yes. So, okay, yes, please don't forget to like. Don't forget to like. When you subscribe, please ensure you like it, please, and share. Then I'd like us to bring out our phones. Can we have our phones up, please? Video. Can we have video up? Okay. So let's get ready. Your selfie, yes, video. So are we ready? And we're all going to say against all odds at the count of 2. So I'll give you the count and then we'll do it. All right, so let's go. Just 1, 2, go. 1, 2, go. Against all odds. Yay! So ensure that you share this video with your friends. Tell them you have seen it using the hashtag against all odds. So I think we should do it one more time, right? Let's do it one more time. Some people don't have their phones out, and I know that you have Androids. I know that you have iPhones here. So please ensure that you bring it out. So we're doing it again. So at the count of 2, 1, 2, 3, go! Against all odds! Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please share, use the hashtag against all odds. Let them know that you were here. We are among the few people that were selected to be here. Please ensure that you do this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I'll just give us 2 minutes to just upload it quickly. WhatsApp, Instagram, X, any platform at all. Just ensure that you let someone know that Against All Odds is premiering today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Are we doing that? Are we doing that? I can't see us using our phones. You are at liberty to use your phones as much as you can. Please don't forget the hashtag Against All Odds. You can tag Temi Badru. It's Temi Badru on LinkedIn, same as Instagram. Just ensure that you tag her. She'll be glad to repost. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So while our host was introducing, while our host was giving the opening remarks, there was something she said. She said this is a learning experience. And it is, right? And we have not even started because we have a very beautiful panel session. And I am super pumped to even learn about all they have to say. So we have thought leaders, industry experts here, just sharing their journeys. How has it been for them? Did they have a smooth sail? What were the obstacles they encountered? Things like that. We'll be discussing that and so much more. So please don't be in a hurry to leave. We just got started, right? So I believe that we're done with social media. I believe we're done sharing the videos and just telling people about Against All Odds. Thank you so much. Please, can we celebrate ourselves for being here? Like, please celebrate yourselves well. No one will celebrate you. Celebrate yourselves well. Thank you. Okay, so our panel session will begin now. So I will just introduce our panelists. And we have our keynote speaker still acts as a panelist here today. So once again, I would like to make her feel welcomed. I've introduced her before, so I will just usher her to the stage. Thank you. Then I have Mary Nwoye. She's the assistant group conference. Okay. Yes, ma'am. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we'll have a seat at the edge. Okay. Now we'll have a seat at the edge. Thank you. fine. Okay, so Mary Nwoye is the assistant group and conference and event manager at Transcorp Youth, in which we are today. Thank you. Then we have Elijah Afi. He's the creative director and co-founder of Takeout Media and a Mandela Washington Fellow. Thank you so much. Sir, we'll have you sit that way. Thank you. Media, is it okay to get another microphone? Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for still being here with us. So we have a very quick panel session, and we've introduced our panelists for today. And I would just want us to enjoy their story. So here they are not giving us slides and all of that. They're telling us stories we can relate with. Their real life experiences, and hopefully we have enough time. We'll also take questions from the audience as well. So I would start with Mary. Okay, I'll start with you, ma'am. Okay, sorry. I'll use this one. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. Just a minute. Okay. All right. Can we all hear me well? Yeah. Okay. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We're delighted that you chose to spend Workers' Day with us and just share your story. So I would start with Mary. We know that you've been in this hospitality space for a while. What was your journey like? Did you just stumble there? Did you know that this was the place for you? How's it been?
Hi, everyone. Hi. It's such a honor to be here. So I have about 10 friends in the crowd because I was really proud to come here. And more than half of them are part of my journey.
Wow. Thank you.
Wow. And so much about hospitality. It was a bit for survival. I needed to survive. I needed to make an income. I needed to survive. So I just needed a job. And so the journey wasn't hospitality per se. It was a cleaner.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You know how you jump out of secondary school? I wanted to be a lawyer, so I didn't want hospitality.
It seems we all had this law dream.
I just wanted justice for the oppressed. However, I found myself cleaning toilets because daddy wouldn't pay school fees. Daddy dropped the ball and mama couldn't pay school fees and I had to work. And so the only job I could get was a cleaner in a hospitality space. And like the story that goes around about the janitor at the airports, who knows that simply keeping that space clean helps the person going up to take off have a smooth flight. So cleaning the toilet in a 5-star hotel meant that that Bill Clinton that is going to come sleep here is going to help the world.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill and Melinda, they are doing great for the world. So they come sleep in a 5-star, it means they're going to help Africa.
Yeah.
So it was my own way of accomplishing the dream for the big man, getting an income for myself, and surviving. That is how I found myself in the hospitality space. And so I took the job, I did it, and I worked my way through the ranks, and I moved from cleaning toilets to becoming an executive. Thank you.
Well, so just in like 30 seconds. So, how did you go from this to that?
Behind the scenes story, right?
Yeah.
You want to hear a bit of the story?
Yeah, just a bit about it.
So I had an NC at the time. I was 20. I came here. My first pay was 2,700. And while I was here, I said to myself, yes, you can be a lawyer, so what next? Because you have to work, you need to pay your bills, you need to take care of your younger ones. My case is the typical firstborn story where you have to drag everybody along. And so all of my siblings needed to come, and we needed to live where we could pay the bills, and that was Maraba. So while I was here doing the cleaner job, I enrolled in University of Abuja. I took a course that was easily accessible. I did public administration, and I started to learn the skill. It was tough. I had to do night shifts for 2 years. You know how you work at night? You don't sleep because you're working. So I work at night. I go sleep a bit. I go to school during the day. I go back home, sleep a bit, and I come back. I needed the money. Yeah. I needed to survive. And so I kept at it until I graduated from University of Abuja 6 years later. You know, when you're doing the non-conventional one, the one you go on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can't do the 4-year course. So I did a 6-year course. And on top of that, it took over 10 years for the result to come out. And eventually came out. While I was doing the night shift, did you say 30 seconds?
Okay, Matt, we'll come back to you.
Thank you.
So let's hear from Elijah. I was reading your profile and I saw the big guys you have worked with, and I'm like, this is a big boy. So tell us about your journey, because I see you worked with Total Energies, just the big names. So how's it been like, Mark Auto Foundation and all of that? So how did you get there?
Whew. Okay, first of all, I would say thank you very much, Temi, for inviting me here. I'm so blessed to be here. I mean, among so powerful people. So a round of applause, please, for Temi for putting this together. So I think my story has just been that of a man who is having to show up for life, right? Because I mean, okay, so yes, I typically don't tell such stories. As a matter of fact, I never knew what I was coming to talk about until so I think her speech actually said the tone for this conversation, and that was a perfect pick, because I was talking, I was like, how did person just so it's a very hard conversation for me to open up really about, but I mean, I'll try my best.
Thank you.
And I'm glad she started it, because then it sets the tone. So I think my story actually began being the only son of a family of 4. And obviously, you know what that means in the African setting, right? So typically, you are now like the mini father. But that never really sunk in until the penultimate year of my secondary school. My dad died. And so I came from a very good background in terms of, well, not very good, like we're rich, but you didn't experience, you didn't experience lack. My dad was a civil servant, my mom was also a civil servant, but you were just okay. You grew up in Maraba a bit. They eventually.
What's this Maraba thing?
No, so typically what happens is, you know, in the early days when Abuja was being formed, I'm from Nasarawa State, so you typically journey, you keep edging in, you know, you know how it works. So I mean, until my parents were fortunate enough to get government housing. You know, there's this government housing around certain areas. So they were fortunate enough to get government housing, and then we moved closer to town. Now, unfortunately, my dad was working very well, and he built a good life for us. At least he sent us to good schools. That was something he prioritized. But I mean, that was all you could get, right? Good education. Any other excess, all this, we are traveling to London for holiday, that is, you came back for holiday and all you did was read and stay at home and then go to your neighbor's house and watch film. If not any other thing, please stop it. If you want to go for a lesson, though, he will pay for it. And then penultimate year, I lose my dad to a sickness, and unfortunately, I didn't just lose my dad. We lost our source of income. Because typically, you had a loved one in the hospital in a very critical situation. It's people don't talk about the financial
Financially
draining. So basically, we went from here to here. So you lose your dad, who is like the breadwinner, like it is typically in Africa, and then you lose all the money, and then my mom loses her job because she's like, I mean, that was when she used to work at Nitel. So Nitel was just winding down, and I mean, at that time, I still was a young boy, so I was trying to, first of all, figure out life and try to see what life's meaning was. So all my dreams of going to the US to study, and actually my plan was, my father was going to send me to the US because I remember he had money now. And not that he did, he just had ambitions, So, and my plan was I'll go there and I'll jump and study music. Like, the whole fella story. Yeah, I was planning to be a producer. I was like, this man does not know what's coming to hit him. But then everything happened and reality sunk. So, like I said, my story is the story of a man that just has to show up. And then I spoke to my mom. I told her, I said, I know me and my dad had this conversation. I know where you are. Fortunate for her, where my dad was working before in government, had mercy on her and they gave her a job, like kind of like a replacement kind of thing.
Wow, that's
right, yes, that was very thoughtful of them. So she began working there. But the beautiful thing was we had a very good community of people around who would not necessarily see my dad's children suffer. So everybody put hands together here and there. But there's so much human beings can do. So after the first year, second year, you're on your own, because then your mom you're seeing your mom as her only son. All the friends that my dad left behind, the wives are feeling threatened when you come around their husband. It is what it is. So you kind of now have to show up. So I told my mom, I said, you know what? I asked the guardian counselor in school, what am I going to study? And they said, if you do arts, you can't switch to science. But if you do science, you can switch to art. I said, that is very smart. Okay, I want to have options. Because remember, I wanted to do, so I didn't care. And I studied engineering, information communication engineering. I was having a conversation with her just before now. I said, that was my favorite thing. But after that, I was done. I came out and I was like, okay, what next? But thank God that I found out in school about the bug of entrepreneurship.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the bug of entrepreneurship hit me. And I believe with all my heart that there's something there. And that was when all these raising started happening. Some guys in Silicon Valley raised $10 million, $20 million. So I was like, I can raise, And then one of the people I actually pitched to is here. She's here wearing pink.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we came and we said we're going to launch taxi top advertising in Abuja. We're going to put those screens on. I don't know if you guys have seen all those screens on top of taxis.
Yes.
We said we're going to do that. With my engineering background, I knew how they worked and everything. And then we spent an entire year trying to raise. We had a lot of near raises, never raised anything. Then it dawned on us that, this time we're wasting to raise, begging people for money, which is what they call raising. So I'm kidding, but begging people for money, just start working. And then we picked up skills in photography and videography. So I went to a boot camp together with her, that woman there. I went to a boot camp, picked up those skills, and then we started producing documentaries for people.
Oh, so that was how
producing.
Started.
Yeah, that was how. I mean, in the middle of it, obviously, we dabbled in a lot of things. And then, but when we're doing those things, we're not doing it to start a business. We're doing it to fund the taxi top still. So we now took the money we made from our first gigs and went to Lagos. We stayed in Ajegule that period because we couldn't afford anywhere. That was my first time in Ajegule, actually. So when she said that picture of Ajegule came to me, like I could visualize it because that was the only place we had with our grandmom. And we now went to all the advertising agencies in Lagos. I say all, like all the top. We went to about 30. And when we're done, we came back, this was like end of the year, we're like, God, don't let us suffer poverty. So, because I had partners, I'm not alone, right? So what happened was the January came, and all of a sudden, all the advertising agencies said, don't worry, wait till February. February came. No, but by February, sense has returned. Because, there's something about suffering. I saw all my mates were going, they were getting great jobs in great organizations, and I was like, no, it's entrepreneurship I've chosen. Great jobs, I'm not looking for jobs, And then, long story short, what happened was, I now said, come, this thing cannot continue like this. Abuja does not have advertising agencies. Why don't we start our own?
Oh, okay.
Right? Because we didn't have any. I mean, there were some, but they were basically for the big boys.
Oh, okay.
So eventually, we started ours, and the journey has just been very interesting. But that was basically the summary, yeah.
Thank you so much for literally you took us on your journey. So, to you, ma'am, we've heard. Look, we have a microphone here. We've heard a bit of your story, from not wanting to graduate with the first class, from being rejected at MIT, and were there moments where, in fact, I want you to share the most significant obstacle you encountered. What was the one that they wake you up, you say, I know this one, it was tough. What's that one experience that you can't forget?
Thank you. Interesting. Is there significant? I will share one just because that's what's, there's so many. Because you can't, there's no one, there's always things that happen and you ask yourself. But I'll share one because I can remember clearly. I was in 4th year engineering. I was owing so much. Even people that had borrowed money from 1st year to pay school fees, I hadn't paid them. I know how it is. They would tell other people, she's been owing me. She said she was going to pay. And so I think 4th year I had picked. I was owing everybody and anybody you could think of because I was technically kind of funding myself. Wow. I'd gotten to a very low point. And maybe this is one of those days I hadn't probably eaten for like 3 days straight, So you're not thinking straight.
So what do you do when you don't? Excuse me, what do you do when you don't eat? Because
I always used to say that I realized that hunger doesn't kill. That's my own interpretation.
Oh, okay.
I will say that you won't die. Just hang in there.
So you just drink water?
Yeah, drink water. But people are always nice. You go and visit a friend, she's eating. Because you've been too quiet, she now offers you, you join in. People, I had good people in my corner. I still remember I had good, but I think I'd gone through, one of those phases where you don't even see these your angels anymore. Maybe they are traveled, they are not around, so there's nobody to give you food. It was too much. I had lecturers harassing, where's the handout? You haven't bought the handout. Today's the deadline. I think I had peaked. I remember I'd really peaked. And I sat and I told myself, I couldn't figure out what to do. I didn't have any skills. That's how I believed. I believed I didn't have any skills. People were making money, braiding hair. I could do stuff. I could teach, but I couldn't charge for it. Like I said, I used to teach the whole set of it. Everybody knew me. It was Jane's handout. I would teach discussion classes, but I was charging for it. So I felt I didn't know how to get money. I didn't know how to make money. So I sat down and I told myself, I think I'm just going to go home. It was a very low moment for me. I remember writing that letter to my sister because she was in IMSU. And I was writing it, I was crying because who gives up 4th year engineering when it's just a 5-year course? Yeah. If you've made it 4 years, why? Exactly. But I couldn't, some things I can't even say here. I used to go to the bathrooms and wait for people to finish taking a shower because all these fancy girls don't like picking their soap when it falls. Then I pick the soap, scrape it, and that's my pile. So it was a very low moment. I think I just had it. And I told myself, just write this letter, I'll be gone. So I wrote to my sister and I told her by the time she'll be getting the letter, some people came for all these games, nougat games. So they came to my school for the games. So I was sending the letter back through them. And I told her by the time she gets the letter, I probably will be gone. I would have gone home. So that's what I did. But I did on a Wednesday, I was very low. Then on a Saturday or Sunday, my sister showed up. She traveled all the way from Imo State to Nsukka.
Wow.
And she saw me entering my room smiling. She was like, I thought you were dead. You told me that you were going to be gone by the time I get the letter. I said, yes, that was on Wednesday. But, I kind of went to fellowship and encouraged me. And And God is going to do it. You know, I got a bit encouraged and I said I'll just hang in there. So yes, that was that one I clearly remember. It was very, very low.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. So, over to you, Mary. Mary, so how did you navigate? Because you've told us how you would work night shifts. That was demanding. I can't even imagine it. So how did you navigate those moments of uncertainty? Those moments where you just felt like this is the end. What did you do? Did you speak to people? What was it like for you? Can you just take us into those moments?
So, my mom is a very strong person in my life. She's very hardworking. She's dogged. She's passionate. Like when I was growing up, you know, secondary school days, we wake up early. She runs a restaurant. We wake up early, go to pound Akpu. I'm from Cross River.
Wow.
So we pound before we go to school. So I got used to that whole thing about being strong, hardworking, wake up early and all. So survival was something that I was used to.
Yeah.
So I'll do the night shifts. I'll go to Uni Abuja. I'll come back. One of the days, like a breaking point in my life, I was cleaning a room and it was so messed up. And I knelt by the PC and I said, God, I'm not going to do this for long. And that was a turning point. Once I made all that decision, I had to go to the admin office. So I closed night shift at 7 a.m. My mates would just jump in the staff bus and go home. I'll stay back, you know, because I have a knack for looking good.
Oh, we can tell.
Wear my good clothes so I don't look like a cleaner. I go to the administrative office, the general manager's office, and I just stick around there till work begins at 9:30ish. And I approach the number 2 in line, then the director of business development. And I said to him, I can work in this office, I can do this, I can do that. Now, what gave me the grit to approach that office, I cannot say, except that I was just done with low life. And so I did approach him and he said, okay, apply. And I did apply. I wasn't even a graduate, but I wanted to apply. And I applied. And so there was an opening for internship. In this organization, there's room for cross-exposure. So you can go to other departments and cross-expose. So I went to the sales department. I did cross-exposure for 3 months, and they saw that I was smart. So they kept me. So I was in the housekeeping for 5 years, and then I crossed over as an intern to the sales and marketing. And then I started to do that, and after the internship, 3 months, they kept me again another 3 months, and then an opening came up for, an executive, and I applied. And they took me. So while I was there, I kept doing school and all. Results came out, I presented it, and I was certified.
Wow. And this just reminds me that there are this, will I call them Kairos moments in life, that you're just pushed to act. You don't know, like you said, you don't even know where the courage can come. I can't imagine going to approach and say, they're like, what do you have to offer? So, I mean, I'm glad that you took advantage of that Kairos moment. So, for you, Elijah. No, I'm coming. I'm going to give you a question. So, you had mentioned that you noticed that there were not so many advertising companies in Abuja. So that was like uncharted waters. You didn't even have, should I say, a model that you could replicate per se here in Abuja. So how was that like for you, just going without a template per se and just coming into this new environment? Do you have doubts? What were you? I know you had a fair share of life. Your story can tell us a lot, but how was it like for you?
Okay, so I would say this. Sincerely.
You know somebody starts with Omo. You know the Omo is Omo.
I mean, I can't count the number of times that, you go back home, you lie down, you cry, and you are literally saying, what am I doing wrong? And you literally ask yourself whether you are cursed, and you will look under every rock to ensure, because I think one of the things about my journey in entrepreneurship so far has been the fact that for the first 4 years, I don't think we made more than 2 million naira in revenue.
Wow.
Yeah, the first 4 years, yeah. And I have we are 3 partners that started the company. So how does the money go around? Okay.
Let's do 2 million divide by 20.
And we still saved.
Wow.
You know. So I think a friend of so for us really going through that entire process, because this is us, like all the entire clothes we wore through those years were school clothes that we used while in school. We couldn't necessarily even afford to change. What happened was when my collar went,
One out.
I would turn it to either bishop collar,
Thank you
or
for this strategy.
I will get my younger sister to do a new collar for me.
Wow.
And she will put white. Obviously, maybe you're wearing a striped shirt. She will now put white. You know the way those shirts are. She will change it. And it now looks, designer, yeah. And all of a sudden, it's now like you become so smart with the along system in Abuja, because you can't spend money anyhow.
Let's not talk about
right?
that.
So, but for us, really navigating, but that was on a personal level.
Yes.
But we had to still show up for life, right? Because we knew that, okay, this was the path that we wanted to follow. So what happened was, we thank God for people, strangers. My life has been a journey of strangers helping me, right? And so that's why when I just meet strange people, I'm just engaging, because I know that my blessing, I don't even look into my, because I remember that time when we started our agency, my tribesman was Minister of Information. So you would think that I'm a communication company, that should be when I should blow. I didn't get 1 naira. And there were still people that were going around saying that, what are you telling me?
Yeah.
What are you telling me? This man was friends to your late dad. And I say, I don't have access to these people anymore. It doesn't work like that, But eventually we met strangers.
Yeah.
And for me, I think what happens a lot in life, I've observed is, from my own journey, is that we make meaning. The meaning we choose to define our life, the metrics we choose to measure our lives by, is what gives it meaning, because life is filled with a lot of pain. Right? So whether we like it or not, it's going to keep coming at us. Solving for no pain is being a fool, really, because you will still keep feeling pain.
Yeah.
What happens is that eventually you begin to find meaning, and you begin to let those pain become purpose, just like she spoke about in her keynote, right? How that, because I sat down and I told her, I said, you are a very, very incurable artist. And she said, yes. And I could see she was not lying. I was looking at her eyes, and I could tell that those situations made me more resolute as a person. So right now, as an entrepreneur, when I see another entrepreneur going through some things, I tap them on the back and I say, because I remember there was a job we went for. I will not lie. There was a job we went for. We did the best pitch, but we didn't get it. And then the man was kind enough to just call me after. And guess what the man told me? He said, you guys did the best pitch. You did well. But the way you dressed, because we didn't have money. He said, the way you guys dressed, I won't give you the job because I can't trust you with that much money.
Because you may just go to the boutique. You go to the boutique.
I'm telling you. And this was at the middle of the hustle now. You're at the middle of your hustle. You were just changing color. You're just pushing through. I went out and my business partners asked me, what did he say? I couldn't tell them.
Yeah.
Till after like a month or something, I told them. And then they were like, wow, really? And then what we now did was the next income we made, we now started investing in our wardrobe. You understand? And we always tell our team in the office a lot of these stories, because it helps. It helped me. I was grateful to the man. It's not like I felt bad, because I think that was kind of him.
It was.
To tell me that the kind of money you're coming to meet me for 100 million or 200 million, and I'm looking like,
no, 20K is a lot.
20K was good.
20K was enough.
I mean, I remember, when I talking about 20K is not even, and the funny thing was that because of the schools I went to, because what my dad did, right, I had a lot of bougie friends.
Yeah.
So what happened, I remember one time one of my bougie friends took me out and said, let's meet at Chicken Republic. So we went. It was a business meeting. He ordered his food to eat. Me and my partner were there. We did not order.
Yeah.
The question was, who we pay? And that was when Chicken Republic was still 500. I remember that one that they demolished in Wuse too. That by that AP, that was it. Chicken Republic was still 500. So that's how, so 20K is plenty. So you can imagine how a person that could not afford Chicken Republic was dressing.
Yeah.
So I think that, so for me, those things, just build resolution.
Yeah.
That now, when anything is happening, I say, where I'm coming from is I've seen enough to not be discouraged by any economic hardship or anything. But eventually, I found meaning in it because I now got my resolution of being an entrepreneur was refined, and my mindset towards money also was refined.
Thank you so much, and I like that you've shared how we could get meaning out of pain. You know, in those moments is when you don't even know that you're betting purpose out of you. Thank you so much, Elijah. So, I've seen all you do. I know you run Women and Career. I see you're very passionate about STEM. A lot of things, you're a best-selling author. So which among all of these achievements would you consider your greatest legacy in life? What do you think that if God even calls you home, you're satisfied that you did it?
I think it would be my kids.
Oh, wow.
It would be my kids, because I don't know someone that was saying something about she was okay. She came from a very good family. Her family was okay and well. Someone was making a reference to that. You know, initially, in my early days in my marriage, I worried a bit because I knew what was my driver, what was my motivation. Initially, it was the pain of coming out of poverty. Then later, I was helping people like me. Then later, I was impact. But I didn't know for my kids what it was going to be because they didn't go through what I went through. They never had to worry about what do you eat, where do you go on holiday. So I worried a lot. But I've realized everybody's story is different. Yes, they didn't have that, but they have their own challenges. So I think my greatest, if I look at my greatest achievement, it would be my kids. To look back, like I tell my son, is that I want to look back and see that he's doing and living his purpose. Not just that, but he's creating impact, irrespective of the amount of abundance in his life. And I think for me, that's what's important. That you're not just looking at life through your own lens, yourself. It's all about what I get, how happy am I, you know. It's all about how about those around you, how about those that are not that fortunate like you. Because maybe that's the reason why you have it. I see myself always like a pipe. A pipe is something that has to carry water. It doesn't necessarily have to retain it. So if you see yourself like a pipe, then you start thinking, you stop thinking about it's not about you. Don't get it twisted. The whole idea is not for you to accumulate as much as you want. It's to turn you into a pipe.
Wow, wow. And I'm tempted to ask.
So I mean, I really can't talk about legacy. I've not lived as long as she has. But I would say what's giving me meaning right now. I think at that place where what's giving me meaning is the ability to create a platform for ideas of others to thrive. And to be able to use the privilege of attention and the privilege of impact that God has been able to give me, to be able to use that to grant others the permission to also unleash their own. I think if there's any word that has been in my heart regarding that, is just to be able to give liberty to the human spirit. Because I think where we are as a nation right now, we can't compare ourselves to other climes as entrepreneurs. I'm one of those people, sincerely, and I'll say this in this room, and it's my belief, it's my conviction, right? I believe entrepreneurs are the answer to a lot of problems we have in Nigeria, not necessarily the government. I believe that we need more nation builders. Absolutely. And I hope to be used by God to be able to, because there is this mindset that I try to bring out from people, which is that mindset of always looking down on yourself, you know, and with that, which is why her story really, I was just looking at her like, how do you know, that's the story of, what's the name of this guy that owns the hotel chain? The guy started as a janitor in the hotel, eventually he owns hotel chain, I forgot his name now, but he used to be a hotel janitor in World of Astoria. So I was just looking at her like, so there's a Nigerian version, you know, like, no, because typically if you read those books, you would think, just America now. What do you mean? How will you be? If you're a cleaner in Nigeria, typically the mindset is that you'll be a cleaner for life. if you were born in Ajegule in Nigeria, the whole idea is that you'll be for life, you know. So when you see such stories and what Temi is doing right now with these platforms, you know, I think it's very, very timely. And I think it's very, very important, because the more we elevate those stories and those voices, it's going to give others the permission to also take steps. Because I think there's been a lot of, in this our climb, there's been a lot of stories that have been withheld from being told. And then a lot of people now feel like it's not possible. Because I looked at her, when she sat down, I said, "Ma, pardon? What did you just say now?" You know, because when I saw her, I was just like, all these women, we don't school abroad. You know, see her name now, Egerton. You know, so it's like in London, you know. So, but when I heard her, I'm like, wow, dreams do come true. And I hope that my life would also be that.
Thank you so much, Elijah. So, Mary, I have this question for you. So, what would you tell a young woman who looks at you and you look so good? And I'm not surprised when you said, even when you were there, you ensured you looked good. Because it's still telling. So what would be on your heart to tell that young guy, that young girl that just looks up to you and is inspired? What would be that word that you would just tell them to ensure that they embrace their journeys? Just
So I see people come into this establishment and they are so shaky, you know, afraid, and they don't even take the leap, like, they don't jump at things. I don't know anybody, la 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 la, and I'm like, come, you're beautiful. Look at me straight in the face. I want you to go meet this person. This person is influential in this organization. Say to them, I can do the job. And when you're talking to them, maintain eye contact. You see NYC people come here and they are also, you know, timid. I'm like, calm down. I wasn't even NYC. I came here and I could face these people. What's wrong with you? And months down, come back and say, thank you, you know. So for me, legacy is about people, really, because I didn't know nobody. I jumped in, I didn't drown, I swam, you know. You go against the tide and you do it. And I don't know why I was picked, Temi, thank you. But for me, it's about people. I've got 3 children, they are in the hall. I've got over 10 friends here. Stand up, my husband is here too. Wow. This is my husband. This is my empire.
Wow.
Yes, so people made me. These friends have stuck with me over 20 years when I was a cleaner. We started at Maraba. This one in America, we started at Maraba. Each time she comes back, she's, you know. Someone saw me about a week ago, and he says, when I look at you and I look at Dupe Olushola, I think you're going to be like, oh God, me, Dupe Olushola. Okay, bring it on. You know, I'm not even thinking about her, and someone is looking at me and inspiring me. I took up responsibility. I left my parents' house like 19 and came to Abuja. I'm 45 today. I've been married for 16 years. So for me, survival is it. And it's about people, everybody. So I just carry people. When you call me, I carry people. I don't walk alone. Because it's people that have brought me this far. I didn't know nobody. I jumped in. People helped me. People I don't know. There's this aura about you. They just see you and they gravitate. I use that to my advantage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. This is wonderful. So just carry people along. So I would give the audience an opportunity to ask questions. Just 3 people, please, for the sake of time. So I can see one hand up. Can I get any other person, please? One hand, there's a hand up. Okay, there's a second hand. And the last one, who is the lucky last person? Okay, 2 is fine. We'll go ahead with 2 people. So can we have you, please?
Thank you all so much, Elijah. It's good to see you up there. Thank you all so much for sharing your story. It's really inspiring.
Okay, okay, my apologies. We'll get the mic to you, please.
Honestly, against all odds, I had to come here. My voice is cracked because I've been down. I've really been ill, but I'm so glad that I came here today. So, success sometimes can get to your head. And I want to ask, how do you keep yourself balanced? How do you keep yourself centered? That it doesn't get to your head. You talk about people, it's people that have helped you. Sometimes you just forget, and I'm here now. I just want to do what I want to do. But how do you keep yourself centered?
Okay, do you want to direct the question to a particular anybody? Okay, okay, they have. You've been nominated. Okay. Okay, so just. Sorry.
Okay, excellent. I didn't know the question was at me, but I'll go for it. So I think for me, one of the things I do, if I listen to your question, is just, first of all, define your why. I always say this. You have to know your why. It's like your little compass. If you know your why, or you agree what your why is, there's a little distraction. So if I tell myself I'm in this situation for this, or I'm going here for this, I'm doing this for this, when you get there, hopefully, that's your compass. Yeah. Someone asked me, Elijah was asking me about my job, and I don't know, he mentioned something, said, do you expect us to launch another satellite? I said, yes, that's the reason I took the job. So if I knew my why, you would notice every activity is aimed at the why. Yeah. Even when the opulence, the distraction, whatever comes, you go back and recenter. Say, why am I doing this? Yeah. What did I agree? What was I trying to achieve? Yeah. And the second thing that could help to keep you grounded is the people around you. Some call it support system, mentors, sponsors, family. You need people that are aligned to your why. Call it your core values. If you have people, they become your mirror. Like, she was talking about all her friends, Mary, she came with. They're her mirrors. So they're like a reflection. They'll be like, what's happening, Jane? Remember when you took this thing, you said this is what you're trying to achieve. What's not happening? We no longer see you making any moves. So those are like your accountability partners. Yeah. That's important.
Thank you. So always remember your why. I think that's very important. There's a second hand here. Okay.
Yes. All right, good afternoon, and thank you very much for sharing and being vulnerable with us. Thank you, the hosts, for selecting amazing panelists. Yeah. We had 2 Maraps and 2 Ajegules. All right, my question is to Elijah. I relate more with you because I'm venturing into the space of entrepreneurship. And it's interesting to know that you've had to face a lot of challenge and you're still pushing. So what measure do you put in place to monitor your progress and know that I'm actually progressing and not just staying in the same path for a long period of time and there's no progress? So what do you utilize in measuring your progress, your yardstick? Thank you.
So sorry.
I think the answer to that question, thank you very much. I think the answer to that question is, he said money. Someone said that the what makes capitalism work is the I capitalism, which is incentives, right? But, I love it. God. Your husband is good. All right, so, but I think really, the fact of the matter is that coming back to what she said, why, right? Yeah. Why you are doing what you're doing. I've been doing what I'm doing for over 10 years, I think, right now. Yeah, when I say I think, I'm trying to know how many exactly, but I know it's over 10 years. And the fact of the matter is that when you do something over 10 years, at a point, you hit some level of boredom, right? So for me, it's no longer about making the next 1 million or 2 million. I remember that was a goal. I remember when my entire company's revenue target was 100 million. We'll get 100 million this year, And those things are still good, and they keep me grounded, right? You still need to run a shop, right? But eventually, your definition of meaning evolves as a person. Like she mentioned that, and I just picked that up from what she said earlier, that at a certain point, it was just getting past the pain. Yeah. At a second point, it was helping people like her. Then at a certain point, it was impact, right? So that's how I think that's how the phases of life actually work. Now you need to create your own metrics for success. To be sincere, let me give you an example. Since we are talking business, I'm not used to talking in emotional planes like this. I'm not used to talking. I'm used to talking business. So I'll come to business. So there was and I'll say this so that you get understanding, and I hope it doesn't offend whoever it hits. So the thing is that a lot of times I speak to a lot of tech guys, and I tell them, I say, yes, I'm into media and technology because we also have a technology company and we've grown over time, and we've been able to expand to various sectors, even beyond media and technology, right? I'm more or less moving to the private equity side of my life right now. I'm evolving. I'm not yet there, but I'm evolving because I've worked a lot of businesses across segments. So now success is going to mean different things for me. Now, what that means is this. I told those tech guys, I said, guys, we are starting out this game together. You raised $2 million. I am here starting out with my 2 million naira, right? Sorry, 200,000 naira. And now the difference between both of us is that you raised yours, I earned mine. And I remember one time, one of them came, years after, came and asked me, say, how do you make money? Right? And I told the person, I said, if I make $1 million, trust me, clap for me. If you raise $1 million, it's not the same thing. No? Because I know those ones that raised $1 million, and I checked their revenues, they were basically doing 5 million naira a year. You understand? So there's a lot of distraction right now in the space. Oh, we just raised. Oh, we just raised. Thank God now the funding gap is going down, so everybody's now having to have sense. You know, but to be sincere, you need to create your own metrics and avoid trash. Even revenue is vanity. Even revenue is vanity. Are you really making profits? You understand? Are you really creating a good environment for young people's ideas to thrive? That's one of my metrics for success, right? I want to look at my people and feel like they're having a better life, right? So, and that's what gives me meaning, because I'm not really a numbers person. For me, money is just a platform for me to express my, creative juices, right? So tomorrow you hear that I'm doing movies. Like this year we've done like 3 movies. It's not because I am trying to do 3 movies. It's just inside me. It must come out. I'm not trying to make money. I've gone beyond trying to just make money now. For me, I really want to do something that has meaning. So, but in the early phases, obviously, you are trying to survive. And survive, you must. So, for me, in those early phases, I was trying to survive. Guess what? I sold slippers. Like, you know the slippers that women used to wear that they used to put collar on top? Oh, beautiful. These your friends are getting me. Maraba. So, you know those ones that they would design. But the beautiful thing is that anything I do, I think big picture. So I always wanted to take it to the globe. I felt this would be the Havianas of Africa. That was what I was thinking. Then one day I just sat down. ShopRite ordered for about 2,000. That was in the early phase. It was a breakthrough. Guess what? I found out that I couldn't make 2,000. And then I found out that what we're making on each, we're making 1,000 naira on each slipper. Product. And that 1,000 naira, if we times it by 1,000 slippers, we'll barely make how much? 1 million. I said, this business is not worth my time. So, because I knew that I couldn't, 1 million naira for 2 slippers when I would do 2 videos and get 1 million. It didn't add up now. Do you understand? So, automatically, that's how I shoved that business. But what I'm trying to say in that story is that survival is your first thing. Because you are in Nigeria, you don't have access to credit. You know, you just meet a US business, they'll just tell you, oh, go and mortgage your house, everything. They have all access to credit, but you don't have access to credit. So survival is your first thing, and it must not be in something that you love. It must be in something that people want. Then eventually you begin to do things that you love.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I will just give room to one more person since you had Temi. Okay. All right, we'll have you, please. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I've been blown away from the stories I've heard this afternoon, and I have a lot of. In fact, my head is full. And my question will go to her. She mentioned how she has carried her friends along, and I will just put, since we're talking about a lot of stories, I'm just going to put a little bit of my own story. So I will still call myself a child because of people that are on the high table. So as a child, I would say that I'm that person that is very passionate about people's growth and people living to their full potential. So anytime I see someone that is living less than they are supposed to, I'm driven to, motivate you to do more for yourself. And in the course of doing that, there is a part where you are you're not drowning, but you're focused on this vision that you want this to be part of, because it brings a sense of meaning, like you mentioned. And it looks like, friends tend to suffer because when you have a lot of things to do compared with work, maybe personal projects that you are trying to build, and maybe they reach out to you and it's like, oh, I'm busy right now, I cannot really attend to you, or maybe I'm not responding on time and all of that. How have you been able to manage being a busy person focused on where you're going to, at the same time have the friends that you have? Because there's a particular friend I have which I cherish so much. It hurts me every time when I think about it. She doesn't talk to me anymore because I wish her happy birthday, but I was going through a crisis at the time. And I've been trying to, appease, but I just keep praying that one day I had to turn around. But how have you been able to? Because I don't know. I think that it needs to write a book on how to manage friends and manage
relationships.
Yeah, relationships and busy life where you're trying to do something. Yeah. Thank you.
So I found out the human being is so super strong. You have a lot of abilities. You can do anything. I'm a powerhouse, I would say that. So as I grow, I've learned to prioritize self, to some extent. So I don't get to talk to my friends sometimes for 1 week, 1 month, but I just know that I'm their friend. So sometimes on their birthday, I don't get to remember. And by the time I remember, it's bedtime, like 10 p.m., and I can't type a message. And then and then I sleep. Then first thing in the morning, I call them, and they will just go.
Someone says and send cake, so. Oh, okay.
So I realized that you can't do everything. You're human, right? You forget, you fail. Come on, cut yourself some slack. And then you make up. I'm going to give them lunch after this. So I kind of bribe them along the way. When I fail, I make up. I'm a bad girl for 1 month, and then I come back again. I've learned to, don't break your head. If you can't do it, you can't do it. But I do a lot of other things that make me really special to them. And so each time I call on them, they just come. So you're going to fail, you're going to lose it and all, but hey, prioritize yourself, your mental health, your peace of mind, your sleep is very important. They are your friends, they value you as well. But as much as you have the time, reach out, send them a message and all.
Thank you so much. This was good. So, and I think that it's important that my generation particularly extend grace to people. Because people forget. Like birthday. I had a friend do it to me too, so I can relate. And she was not picking my call. She said, "You're not coming on my birthday." I said, And also, I think it's important that we extend grace to each other. We will fail, like she said, but just ensure that you extend grace. I had a great time talking with everyone here. Thank you so much for being on this panel. Please can we celebrate them? It was so beautiful. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you very much. And I wish we could go on and on, but your stories are beautiful, and I'm inspired by all that you're doing. Thank you so much. So we will have a quick photograph.
Temi, thank you for bringing us here. So I feel particularly grateful to you. Thank you for putting me on the spot, on the stage, in the lights, in limelight. Thank you. All of that. So he said to me, he thought you were going to be on stage. I'm like, no, you're the boss. So boss lady, thank you so much.
Stand up. for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand
Thank
up.
you. Please, can we celebrate them? All our panelists. All our panelists. I could say a few things about them, but I think they've said so much. I met Jane. I'm meeting Jane physically for the first time. We met online, but you know how it feels like you know people online already? She was having an event. It was a virtual. She was having a virtual IG Live. And a friend reached out to me and said, Temi, please, I would like you to be a guest on this IG Live. I spoke so well about her. I said, okay, I'll join. And then I enjoyed the conversation. So I remember she started out with an icebreaker. It was just very interactive. We had fun. We had a good time. And then we stayed in touch. And then when I had this event, I thought to myself, I want someone who is able to really share practically. Someone who will come on stage and will be very real with us. And then I reached out to her and she accepted. Thank you. Thank you so much. I've met Mary once. It was a brief conversation. But today, I feel like I truly met her. I heard a story and I was so inspired. And for me, this is a reminder about why we are doing what we're doing. Against all odds. Her story is against all odds. And I thank you, Mary. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Elijah, of course, I've had the privilege of working with his team before, Takeout Media. They do a fantastic job. I know we did an event some time ago, I think about 2 years ago at the Villa. Takeout was doing the media, I was hosting, and this is the first time I'm hearing his story in this way. Because even though I followed him, like he said, on social media, what I would see would be about the business, about startups. But today, I got to meet the Elijah beyond, the founder or the co-founder of Takeout Media. And I thank you for honoring our invitation on such short notice and just really coming to share from your heart. Thank you so much. Please, let's celebrate them. And to our partners, to Transcore, for believing in our vision. Again, please, let's celebrate Transcore. Trust TV is here. Our media partners, please, let's keep celebrating them. Legit.ng. Every other media organization represented here. I believe The Guardian is here as well. Please, let's celebrate them. Thank you so much. We're truly, truly honored. As I said at the beginning, it's about resilience. It's about winning against all odds. We look at people who are out there, who are shining. We look at people who are doing well. And we don't know the backstory. That's what this event is about. It's about the behind the scenes. But beyond the event, that's what the Docuseries is about. So we've premiered the first episode. Subsequently, we'll have other episodes where we talk about different issues and interview different people. So they're just going to be short episodes, and I believe a lot of us have followed on YouTube. Please look out. Follow my page on social media, Temi Badru, across social media platforms. I'll be sharing much more about what we are up to. So beyond Docuseries, we'll just create content that is against all odds. And we hope that people would watch this content and they will be inspired. And hopefully in years to come, somebody will come back and say that because I saw this docuseries, because I heard this story, because I was at this event, my life was greatly impacted. So please, we need you to share those pictures, those photographs. As we leave, there's the backdrop that's open for you to take photographs. Please go ahead and just continue to share. Because what you're doing is that you are pointing people to what we're doing at Against All Odds. So you are pointing people to see the message. This is just a platform. The message is what's more important. And the message is going to encourage people to not give up. So expect much more from us. Follow us across social media. And as I said at the beginning of this event will not be complete if you leave with the same people that you came with and you do not meet anybody else. So please connect with people, at least 2 people that you've never met before. Just get their contact. What do you do? Because like someone said, the power is in the relationships. So what if I had that Instagram live with Jane, but we never just stayed in touch, I was not able to reach out again? We wouldn't have her today. And I don't know who else would have set the scene for this conversation we had the way she did. The keynote was beautiful. So thank God for that relationship. So finally, to our sponsors, thank you to all my friends here. I cannot mention names because there's the risk that somebody would, what did you say about someone not talking to you again? If I forget somebody's name, I don't want to have to start kneeling down to beg, to say, forgive me, it was a mistake, it was an oversight. I can't mention all the names. I'd like to just thank everyone. All the glory to God. All the glory to God. At least nobody's competing with God. Yes, so all the glory to God for success, for putting this event together from conception to, just implementation today. I'd also like to celebrate my husband. I know he probably doesn't want this, but he's at the back and he's now sitting. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Badru, for your support. Thank you. He likes to do the behind the scenes, but he's like a major pillar. He's the reason, that we're really able to do this. So thank you. Thank you so much. I'll hand over to Ado. She has a few more words, and then we would be out of here. Don't forget, network with someone, take a picture, meet someone, have fun. The event is closed, but it's open for networking when she's done. So please, can we give a round of applause to our MC? I forgot to acknowledge our MC. I do this, and I know what the job of a master of ceremonies is. You're just checking, is this person ready? Is this next? Is this good? Do I have this settled? And I think she's done such a great job. So please, can we celebrate Ado? Thank you for doing this. And to all the volunteers, please, wherever you are, can you just stand? All the volunteers in the hall, please, celebrate them. Some of them I have never met before, but they just showed up through social media. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Can we honor Mrs. Badru one more time? I think we can do it standing. We should do it standing. Thank you so much for putting this together. You do not know how far your impact will go. Thank you so much. We are inspired by your life. And so many people in this room said they came because they've seen what you do on social media and they're inspired. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you. Oh, let's put our hands together for her one more time. So I would like to say thank you once again for being here. Thank you for choosing to spend your Workers' Day with us. On behalf of the team at Voices and Faces Communications Limited, we would like to say thank you for being here. So ensure that you network. Please, we have a red carpet. Take pictures. Tell people about it. Like she said, this is just a platform, but the message needs to go far and wide. So we believe that you'll be instrumental to making this happen. Thank you once again for being here. I wish you safe journeys back to your destinations and best wishes. Once again, my name is Ado Atera, and I was your compere for today, and it was an honor. Thank you very much, and have a great afternoon.
Patiently, I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions.